Good afternoon, Tuscaloosa. Internet world, how are you doing today? Welcome in. This is the Joe Gaither Show right here on BamaCentral. BamaCentral.com. You're watching us on YouTube, on the BamaCentral YouTube page, on my own YouTube page, on Facebook, on Twitter. You're listening to us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and on Amazon. I am Joe Gaither, and this is the Joe Gaither Show. Big thanks to everybody jumping in and joining us. Go tell a friend about the program. As some of my equipment, we love it when it breaks. So right here as we get started, no big deal. We will put this little screen away and just carry on with the program. Fix that after the show. Welcome in. We're having a fun Friday. We're going to have a fun Friday. I hope you have a great week. It's been a busy week. It's been a lot of fun hanging out really at SEC Media Days on Wednesday, taking in the hoopla and having a lot of fun, really carrying on through the day, through the week. Look, this week we talked to John DeWitt. We talked to John DeWitt, the head groundskeeper at the University of Alabama, head athletic groundskeeper at the University of Alabama on Tuesday about the renovation, the new project, the new field going on in Bryant-Denny Stadium. We spent Wednesday up at SEC Media Days. We talked to Kool-Aid McKinstry. We talked to Dallas Turner. We talked to J.C. Latham. I talked to my man Mac Hereford, Michael Bronner, AP Sidham, Katie Wyndham, really everybody that I could see up in Nashville. We try to bring them on the show just for a little bit. I appreciate all of the Alabama SIDs giving us just a little bit of time with the players. Hopefully we will be able to bring you more players and more great interviews in the future. I want to let you know what's going on a little bit later today. I'm going to be heading up to Brookwood High School. The Brookwood Panthers are holding a commitment ceremony for one William Sanders. William Sanders joined me on the program June 9th, I believe is what it was. June 9th, William Sanders joined us on the program. He could become Alabama's third offensive lineman in the 2024 class. William was a great interview. You can listen to that again on podcast on Apple Podcast, Amazon, or really watch it if you want to go see his face and see and get to know him on YouTube right there. So that's what we're going to do for the day. I'm heading up to Brookwood in just a little bit. So what am I going to do for these next 30, 40 minutes? I'm going to talk to you guys. I really appreciate all the support. Been getting a lot of fun comments. I appreciate everybody who's taking part in the show. You can watch us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. Thanks so much, James. Got myself a haircut on Tuesday morning right before I went up to Nashville. I had to make sure I was looking as good as I could, standing next to Kool-Aid, Dallas, and J.C. Latham. Those guys dressed to the nines. I really was impressed with that. So what's on my brain today? Let's start. Look, you all saw the interviews that I did with on the show yesterday. We played it yesterday, and it's up on YouTube. So you all saw that. We'll skip all that. What do you want to get into? Okay, so first, Nick Saban at SEC Media Days basically told all of the media to bleep off. He basically said, "Don't ask me about the quarterbacks." He set up really his answer for the next 3 to 4 weeks about the quarterback position. Nick Saban's going to be really using that cake analogy. I believe he's going to lean into it. He says he likened it to baking a cake. You can't pull it out too early or the cake's going to be mushy. You've got to wait till the right time. And Coach Saban went into detail on SiriusXM Radio about what he's going to do and how he's going to approach the quarterback battle. So I feel like it was interesting, but he obviously does not want to be asked about it every single press conference. Coach, you're going to get asked about it pretty much every single press conference. How did the quarterbacks look today? It's just going to be the case. It's just going to be what happens. So you may as well come out and address it in all of your opening statements, just like you did at SEC Media Days on Wednesday. Your opening statement was pretty much like, here's how we're going to address it. So if you didn't hear the SiriusXM radio interview that he did after the main portion of the media, he essentially said he's splitting the quarterbacks up 2 by 2 by 2, right? He said it's a 3-quarterback race. He wants to make sure that everybody gets reps and repetition. So essentially, you're going to have Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson paired together. You're going to have Buckner and Eli Holstein paired together. And you're going to have a fifth kind of hanging out watching. And Coach Saban said he's going to rotate that mixture every single day. So some days it's going to be Milroe and Buckner. Some days it's going to be Milroe and Lonigan. Some days it's going to be Milroe and Holstein. Some days it's going to be Milroe and Simpson. It's just going to be mixing it up, trying to see what works, see how the team responds to whichever quarterback is under center. And so you you've heard all the Sabanisms over the course of 5-6 years since we've really done quarterback battles. The first one in the Nick Saban era was AJ McCarron against Phillip Sims, and that battle lasted into that first week. You remember you went up to Penn State, and AJ McCarron basically slammed the door shut on that quarterback battle. Phillip Sims, good little player, good guy, transferred out of the program. Good luck to you. Great stuff. Alabama made the right move right there with AJ McCarron. And then what? 3 years later, 2 years later, you go with oh my gosh, what is Blake Sims, Jake Coker, Blake Sims? Who the heck is this Blake Sims running back? What's he doing? Winning the job? Of course, Jake Coker, transferee. All right, Blake Sims wins the team. That's Coach Saban's main moniker. That's Coach Saban's main thing. Who wins the team? Look, the best quarterback. Saban doesn't care. Saban doesn't care who the best quarterback is. Look, you can have quarterback robot Todd Marinovich back there being basically quarterback prototype XYZ. If they cannot win the team, if they cannot lead the team, if they cannot orchestrate the offense, inspire confidence, and raise the level of play of the other 10 players, then Coach Saban doesn't care. You're going to really be looking at who's going to lead the team first and who's going to protect the football second. You got to get everybody up. You got to get everybody into the huddle. You have to get everybody the play called. You have to make sure all 10 guys knows their responsibilities, ready to execute the play. And then secondly, when you get to the line of scrimmage and you snap the actual football, you have to protect the football. Those two things right there have to really be at play at whoever's going to be the starting quarterback. Coach Saban starts right there. And then he looks at, all right, who's got the better arm? Whose skill sets can we utilize to attack the defenses? Where can we really gain advantages at the quarterback position? And I think that really, you've heard me talk about it already, that Jalen Milroe presents all kinds of dangerous skill sets for opposing defensive coordinators. But Coach told you, don't ask me. You remember Maria Taylor, 3 or 4 years ago, 2016, 17, Maria Taylor, Jalen Hurts, who's going to be the starting quarterback? Quit asking. Of course, I think Coach Saban regretted that little blow up and apologized to Miss Maria afterwards. Maria Taylor, great at her job. But that's what it's going to be all year long, and or at least going into that first week against MTSU. So for Alabama fans, you're going to have to be patient. You're just going to have to be patient as Nick Saban works through the offense, works through their quarterbacks, and works through who's going to be able to lead the team, who will be the biggest leader. Look, Jalen Milroe has been on the roster for this going now his third year. I think he has the best advantage, has the best position to win the team. I think, look, Ty Simpson was probably the coach's pick in the spring, wanted Ty Simpson to kind of assert himself. But Ty Simpson, I think he's got the leadership edge. I do. I think he's good on the leadership side. I think he can lead the team and inspire confidence. I think he can get the players into the right positions and call the right plays with authority and inspire confidence. The biggest thing with Ty Simpson in the spring was turning the football over, careless with the ball, throwing the ball into tight windows, throwing the ball into dangerous positions, careless with the football running around. Oh, Ty Simpson can run, not as well as Jalen Milroe, but he can run too. I think if Ty Simpson can clean up the turnover issue in fall camp, he's really going to push Jalen Milroe. It's really going to be depending on, can Jalen Milroe lead the offense? Will Ty Simpson cut down his turnovers? If either of those two things happen, then I believe that you're going to have one of those two guys be the starting quarterback. If neither of those two things happen, if Jalen Milroe cannot deliver the football confidently, cannot really orchestrate the offense, maybe he has the leadership edge, but the skill sets, at least when it comes to throwing the football, maybe a little bit deficient. If he cannot improve on those skill sets, and if Ty Simpson cannot cut down on the turnovers in fall camp, I think you're going to see Tyler Buchner walk out there week 1 leading the Alabama Crimson Tide. I think Tommy Rees knows what he's got in Tyler Buchner. Obviously, coached him last year at Notre Dame, and I think he realizes the skill sets, what he has. Look, I think Ty Buchner is kind of Ty Simpson light. I think Tyler Buchner can run a little bit. He doesn't have as big an arm. I think he's Ty Simpson light. Now, maybe he's a little bit smarter. He's obviously got a little bit more in college experience than Ty Simpson. So all three guys present you with great options. Well, present you with adequate options. We'll say that. Present you with adequate options. And so Coach Saban really at SEC Media Days outlining, hey, don't ask me. The cake is baking. I promise you, you're going to hear it over and over and over again for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Every time either myself or Katie Wyndham or Blake Byler or Austin Hanna, anybody from BamaCentral or anybody else who's on the beat, ask Coach Saban a quarterback question, he's probably going to refer to that carrot cake. My grandma's carrot cake is still in the oven. Jalen Milroe is still baking. Ty Simpson is still baking. Tyler Buckner is still in the oven. And obviously, when you pull it out of the oven, you got to let the cake rest, everything. So it's going to take some time. And I think Coach Saban is going to lean on that analogy throughout fall camp. I really think that we will probably get tired of the cake analogies heading into the MTSU, the MTSU week. And really, Coach, MTSU week is not the biggest week. It's getting ready for Texas the next week. So you're going to have to make sure when Alabama's playing MTSU, whoever is playing quarterback is going to have to be ready for an even taller task the next week when Texas comes into town. Because I think Texas is coming in guns blazing, wide open. I think it's going to be, last year the Texas game was kind of cat and mouse toy, back and forth. Obviously, Quinn Ewers getting hurt affected Texas's game plan in a major way, but I think that I think that really you really want. Oh, look at that! How about me not plugged in the right microphone? That might be a bad thing, Joe. Yeah. Oh man. Look, Texas is coming, and I think whoever your quarterback is going to be, you need to be ready for that second week. So hopefully, Coach will have the cake ready and have the cake baked. Have the cake baked when it comes time to play Texas. Let me put a pause in this real quick, and as I make sure, yeah, that's what I want, that microphone. Maybe I just sounded a little bit better as we switch to the right microphone right there. Boom! Okay, welcome back in. This is the Joe Gaither Show. We just talked about quarterbacks. What do I want to go to next? I want to go to next SEC preseason polls. Look, it does not matter. Yes, Chuck Dunlap puts out today the results of the SEC preseason polls. And I'll be honest, I voted in the preseason polls. I voted, and I took my vote seriously. It was my first vote ever as a member of the media. I took my vote seriously. I chose to forego voting during baseball season when I didn't really feel like I was qualified to vote. I did take my vote seriously. I'll be honest with you. I did not have enough courage to not pick Alabama. I picked Alabama to win the West. I picked Georgia to win the East. I thought, obviously LSU, defending champion. I think that, they need to get some recognition, but I just couldn't do it. I could not put LSU to win the SEC West. I just felt like everything that I've said over the last couple of months about this Alabama team, yes, the question marks at quarterback remain, but everything that we've gone into about this team, I'm excited. I'm excited about the line, the receivers, the running backs, blah, 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 blah. You've heard me talk about it. So I did not have enough courage to go against that feeling. And so I picked Alabama to win the conference, not only win the West, but to beat Georgia in the SEC championship game. Look, the for the first time since 2015, Alabama was not the preseason pick. And people are up in arms because you got several people who voted for Vanderbilt. Let me be honest. Well, come on. Those people were trolling. Those people were making a joke. Those people were, not taking their ballot seriously. And that's okay. There was like 100 and some odd ballots cast. How many by total? Yeah, let's see. 265 plus 15 puts us at like 280 plus 3, almost 300 ballots. Almost 200 some ballots cast. And you have a couple of jokesters in the group. That's just what's going to be. A lot of people on social media today saying, who voted for Vanderbilt? Take their daggum vote away. Don't let them go. Look, when's the last time a media member made a tackle? When's the last time a media member threw a pass in a game? When's the last time a media member kicked an extra point or made any difference in a football game? The last time would have been news to me because I don't know. It's never happened before. I can vote. I could have voted for Vanderbilt for all world, and it doesn't matter. Whatever happens on the field is totally separate from that. Now, as you continue to look through the SEC ballots, the preseason ballots, I do find it a little bit interesting. You just, going back to last week when I was ranking the quarterbacks in the conference, your first team quarterback, Jaden Daniels, was my number one. And yes, I did vote Jaden Daniels for myself. Second team, KJ Jefferson. I didn't vote KJ Jefferson. I voted Joe Milton right here, and I voted Will Rogers after that. Those were my three quarterbacks that I selected. Now, KJ, veteran quarterback for Arkansas, you can see why he's put right there.
Really interesting as you look through the first team and you don't see any Alabama skill positions. Kind of unusual. You see J.C. Latham, obviously the only first team offensive player represented for the Tide. Look, you're not going to get one over on Brock Bowers. You're not going to get one over on Quinshad Judkins, probably. You probably look. I got a little bone to pick. I would have voted for Malik Benson for my first team wide receiver, but he was not even on the ballot. I know he's going to be a brand new player for Alabama. I know he's a transferee. Haven't seen him in the conference yet before. But come on, SEC, at least let everybody be eligible for these ballots. I couldn't even search Malik Benson. I couldn't even write him in. So look, you got interesting layouts with the skill positions. Jace McClellan, running back for Alabama, ends up being a second team all offense. Ja'Cory Brooks also second team. I did vote for Ja'Cory Brooks in light of no Malik Benson. And then you have Tyler Booker and Seth McLaughlin both on the second team as well. It'll be interesting. Can Tyler Booker unseat one of these Georgia interior offensive linemen? Amarius Mims, I think earns his position. I did vote for Amarius Mims. I didn't vote for Tate Rutledge, but I think that Tyler Booker, could push for one of these first team roles. Now you go on through and you see Jaheim Otis on the second team. The first team defense only has two Alabama players on it, both the Alabama players that were represented in Nashville, in Dallas Turner and Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think you've got this underrated feel, this underappreciated feel about Alabama this season that really creates the hunger. Tyler Booker talking about it on Wednesday, really about how he's tired of the disrespect that has been placed at the feet of Alabama. Now, look, Tyler, last year, everybody talked about don't waste a failure. Now, this year, it's all about regaining the standard or resetting the standard or return to the standard. Look, we've been talking about it for 2 years now, JC. Alabama getting back to that championship level. Wonder if this season will be that season for the Tide. Now, look, SEC Media Days was a lot of fun. I enjoyed watching Lane Kiffin up there complaining about Paul Feinbaum. Feinbaum surely does not mean what he said on Monday. Nick Saban's legacy is up for grabs or is up in stake if he doesn't make the playoffs this year. Feinbaum's just doing that radio thing where you want to stay in the news, stay in the conversation. He doesn't really believe that Nick Saban's legacy is at stake here. What a foolish thing. And so don't bite on the Paul Feinbaum, oh my gosh, Nick Saban's legacy is going to be tarnished if they don't make the playoffs. Look, Coach Saban, I do believe if Coach Saban could go a handful of years, 4, 5, 6, 7, we could go years with Coach Saban not going back to the playoffs, and his legacy as the number 1 or number 2 overall head coach in college football, right there with Coach Paul Bear Bryant, it's cemented. It's in stone. It's right there. So look, Paul's just doing that noise, and I enjoyed Lane Kiffin calling him out. Now, Lane Kiffin complaining about NIL yesterday, basically saying you've legalized cheating, and you have. You essentially have. Look, you go through. Players have been paid and incentivized to go to certain schools throughout the dawn of time, really since 1980s, 70s. Like, people have been paid to go to school. You look at Marcus Dupree all the way back in the day, SMU back in the day. You go all the way up to Albert Means. You go through Todd Gurley, getting incentives. Like, it has happened forever. So I'm glad that it's on the up and up. But Lane Kiffin complaining yesterday about legalized cheating. Why? Because the Ole Miss boosters don't have the money like Tennessee, don't have the money like Alabama, don't have the money like Texas A&M and the other programs in the SEC. Yes, Ole Miss, you're old money, you're wealthy Mississippi. You're not Mississippi State. You're the antithesis of Mississippi State. But you ain't Alabama. You're not Texas A&M. And when Texas and Oklahoma roll into the conference, you're definitely not rolling with pockets deep enough to hang with Texas and Oklahoma. So that's why Lane Kiffin complaining about NIL, legalized cheating. Well, I'm sorry. The price of the brick, the price of the athlete has gone up. Now that you've made it legal, now that it's all out in the open, it's going to cost you more to get these high-level prospects. You can't just wave $100 in their face and say, hey, man, we'll give you $100 and nobody else will. No. Real bidding, real incentives have entered the game. So, Lane, look, I hear you. I hear you. You're upset about NIL. Sorry, you're just going to have to fire up the Ole Miss boosters. You're just going to have to continue to work the transfer portal. Love Lane Kiffin, transfer to the SIP. Look, people, the Alabama fans, really SEC fans, can feel however they want to feel about Lane Kiffin. I think he's a great coach. Sure, he's a wild man. Sure, he is a wild card. I'd love to see him here in Tuscaloosa in, however many years. Nick Saban, take your time. But in however many years, Lane Kiffin, I absolutely love you. Now, you continue with SEC Media Days, and you just roll in talking season, blah, 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 blah. I'm ready for the season. I am ready to get this thing started. I'm ready to get this thing started. You're what now? 44 days away now, and for Alabama kicking off against MTSU, and what's that? -7 is 36, 37 days away for Vanderbilt and Hawaii kicking off. It's going to be right here around the corner. I believe we're starting fall camp in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time, we'll be over at the Malmore facility opening fall camp, and of course, we're going to ask Coach, how did the quarterbacks look today? And he's going to go get set off. He's going to get set off, and we'll be up and rolling, and I cannot wait. So look, everybody who's worried or everybody who's just itching for that football, just hang on. It's coming. It's coming very, very, very soon. If you're really looking for football, the NFL is opening up training camps next week. Next week, you're opening up training camps. And in conjunction with the NFL, high schools are opening up their training camps in a week and a half. So, it's all right here. It's all coming up in just a little bit of time. What we're going to do, we're going to finish up this program by kind of setting up what you're going to see the week ahead. I've got a kind of a big, somewhat of a big weekend ahead. Just a little bit of recruiting news. Alabama, I'm heading up to Brookwood High School again. I'm heading up to Brookwood High School, a couple of minutes away from myself, or from where I'm sitting right now. We're going to watch William Sanders commit. William Sanders is choosing between Alabama, LSU, and Mississippi State. We had William Sanders on the program June 9th. If you want to look at that interview and get to know William, you can look at it on YouTube, on Apple Podcast, on Spotify. It's on June 9th, and I believe the date says William Sanders on the title as well, if you want to get to know him before he makes his commitment at 3 p.m. I'm getting over there at 2:30 just to kind of get a lay of the land. You can follow me on Twitter at Joe Gaither6, on Facebook at Joe Gaither, or at Instagram Joe Gaither6 as well. I'll be putting up kind of all the highlights from Brookwood High School here in about an hour and a half. And so I'm really excited about that. I am expecting William Sanders to join the Alabama Crimson Tide, keep Alabama up in that top 5. Yes, you looked at it 2 weeks ago. Alabama was ranked 28, 27, 26 in recruiting. And now, as it currently sits, Alabama's ranked 5th. So come on, guys. Everything is working out nicely for Alabama. Now, as you continue on the week, tomorrow, Saturday, Jamie French. Jamie French is a 5-star wide receiver in the 2025 class from Jacksonville, Florida. And Jamie French is highly, highly coveted. Look, you all know about Ryan Williams already. I don't know if anybody's going to be near as good as Ryan Williams, but this Jamie French kid is a baller. He went out and dominated a recent Elite 11 camp. And Ryan Williams, I think, is in love with the idea of Jamie French and Ryan Williams pairing up in the Alabama wide receiver corps. So Jamie French will commit tomorrow out of Jacksonville. He is down to 8 schools. He's got Ohio State, Florida State, Texas A&M. He's got the who's who in his 8 schools. I feel kind of good about Alabama's chances, but with so many schools at play, and look, he's a class of 2025er. You're going to have to hold the commitment for 12 plus 6, 18 months. You're going to have to hold his commitment for 18 months. So would it be good news to get Jamie French in the 2025 class? Yes. 100%. You absolutely want him in the class, but I would, encourage you to take it with a little grain of salt, as 18 months are still at play with his high school recruiting. So I'll be looking forward to those 2 commitments over the weekend. You'll be looking for it on BamaCentral.com. You can read about I'm hoping to have a conversation with William Sanders. And then I think I'm going to be able to get a little tour of the new Bryant-Denny Stadium facilities this weekend. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be involved in a lot of preseason football stuff, trying to get ready for the year. Now, one other highlight on Wednesday that we totally didn't really talk about, Alabama got a commitment, or a non-scholarship player, local kid, Anderson Green. Let me make sure I have that name correct. Oh gosh, I just had it. Yes. Yeah, Anderson Green. Anderson Green out of Northbridge High School. right here, a couple of miles away from where I'm sitting right now. Anderson Green committed on Wednesday to join the Alabama class as a preferred walk-on. Now, he's not going to be on a scholarship, but my man's is ranked the 25th overall punter in the nation. So it's not just Nick Saban letting a local boy walk on. This young man's got a little bit of potential, and obviously it will be a position of need with James Burnip moving on. I believe this is his last year of eligibility. I will double check that, but I believe this is James Burnip's last season of eligibility. So you're going to have to get a new punter in here, and that's exactly what Alabama did with Anderson Green, local young man from Northridge High School. We all know Ryan Lawley, head coach of the Northridge Jaguars, formerly of the Gordo Green Wave. We've already kind of had a couple discussions with Anderson. Hopefully we'll bring him on the program. Yeah, not a scholarship member of the class of 24, but I don't care about that. I want to get to know anybody and everybody that's in the program, and I know you do as well as an Alabama fan. So we will hopefully get Anderson Green onto the show. We'll get to know him. We'll figure out how big his shoe is, how far he can punt. We'll ask him all kinds of wacky and weird questions as we get to know Anderson Green. So look, I'm going to cut my program kind of short right here because I'm going to get ready to go to Brookwood High School. Follow me on the social medias at Joe Gaither 6. You can follow us all the coverage of William Sanders. I believe he will commit to Alabama here in about an hour and 10 minutes or so. I do believe he's going to join the class, and I'm going to try my best to bring you an interview. Be watching it on social media. It'll be great to get in touch with William Sanders. So look, for BamaCentral, we're going to try to set up a full week next week. It was already a great week with SEC Media Days. If you want to listen to my conversation with Kool-Aid McKinstry, with Dallas Turner, or with J.C. Latham, you can look up the Joe Gaither Show right here on BamaCentral, on really YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and on Amazon. You can watch it right here on the channel you're looking at right now. And we encourage you to tell a friend about the program. We're getting ready for a new season. 44 days away from Alabama kicking off against MTSU. I wonder how many people, I'm going to have to recruit my mother. My mother makes a carrot cake once a year for Thanksgiving. I'm going to have to recruit her to get on the carrot cake train, see if I can get in Coach Saban's good graces during fall camp by delivering a carrot cake to the facility. Maybe that'll be a good way to get some interviews and get some good guests going forward. So look, all you guys on the social medias and everybody who's listening or on podcasts, I love you very much. I'm appreciative of you very much. Make sure you're watching at BamaCentral on the social medias for all of our great coverage. We're going to be bringing you, I didn't hit this. The Open Championship, Justin Thomas, he's absolutely lost out there. He is absolutely lost out there. What did he shoot? An 81 on Thursday. He ended up with a 9 on hole number 18. That's like a Joe Gaither score. I'm shooting 8s and 9s. I'm shooting 7, 8s, and 9s. Not professionals like Justin Thomas. Obviously, those bunkers are no joke over there at the Open. But Justin has just completely lost it. So I'm going to be paying attention to the Open this weekend as well. We'll be paying attention to recruiting on BamaCentral.com, on my social medias. We'll be really covering it all for Alabama as we are right around the corner for Alabama football and SEC football. Big thanks to Chris Walsh putting us on each and every day. Follow him at Writing Walsh on the Twitter machine. Big thanks to BamaCentral. Follow at BamaCentral. I am at Joe Gaither 6. You're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on Amazon, and you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. For a great week, I love you all very much. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope the weather holds up, and I hope you enjoy your weekend. For guys, fellas, only a couple more weekends till football, so knock out your honey-do lists now. Make your ladies happy, make your partners happy, knocking out your honey-do list right now. I'm going to actually go ahead and get on my own do list for my dog and cat, and then we're going to get up to Brookwood High School to watch William Sanders commit. Will it be Alabama? Will it be Mississippi State? Will it be LSU? I'm feeling good about the Tide's chances. Stay locked in to Joe Gaither 6 right there on the social medias, and we will bring you everything about William Sanders here in about 1 hour. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. Hope y'all have a great weekend right here for BamaCentral and BamaCentral.com.